All right, the first Class 1 is off. That's George Peters. Now, these guys will still be a minute and a half apart. We'll do all Class 1s a minute and a half apart. They gave these guys about a 10-minute differential between the trophy trucks. Next up is Rob Archibald. Rob, with a pretty good finish at San Felipe for Rob. Rob Archibald right here in the 104. These guys will still have a minute and a half in between the start for Rob. Next up is Jonathan Brenthal. Jonathan Brenthal driving. Had some problems in San Felipe. Working on this thing late last night to get this thing running. Building some extra brackets for the alternator. So Jonathan guys, keep an eye on the 172. These guys are fast, the Brenthals. These guys out of Southern California. Had a chance to win San Felipe. They do it all. They fabricate everything on this car. The Brenthals. Right here, the beautiful girls from Monster Energy right here doing the green flag. As they got 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Here we go, 2, 1, green. All right. Next up, Jim Anderson. Jim Anderson driving. I think he might be driving with his wife. His beautiful wife sitting in the co-seat right here. Jim from Nevada, owns the Big O Tires in Reno. And these guys actually got married on their honeymoon a long time ago. Jim right now, great finish at San Felipe. So he'll be the fourth Class 1 off the line. So Jim Anderson getting ready for the green flag by the beautiful Monster Energy. We got a little guy over here. He's going to give the flag. We got 4 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As he line 34, Edgar Romero in a brand new car. Next up after that will be the Jimmy. Billy Gomez driving Jimmy Jeffries' car right here, the 188. You can see right here on the side of the car, Jimmy Jeffries right here at JC Flores when they go by. But I'm way down here where they're starting. I kind of moved down here a little bit. Some more of the Class 1s as the Edgar Romero gets ready to start. Class 1. So this car right here, owned by Jimmy Jeffries out of Cabo. Jimmy been racing for one of the top drivers in Mexico. Jimmy Jeffries with 2 entries in this race. Jimmy Jeffries used to live down here on the beach in 1960 when nothing was here. Incredible. He owns the Mulahe. 3-seat truck. Pops, are you watching? I'm standing right next to your son. So Greg's right next to me, keeping track of all these guys as they leave the line. We have Christine on my right. The Lund over here on the left. These guys doing all the timing, and here we get ready to go. Three, 2, 1, and here we go. So Mexico would be cheering these guys on. Local guys out of Mexico right here in Cabo. Sandy Hall in the 190. I'm actually right here now standing by the arches as they come by. So Jimmy Jeffries' first entry off the line as it just left. And I'm sure he's excited about his 2 cars. Love to win this race. Sandy Hall up next. We talked earlier about Jim Anderson, his beautiful wife sitting there in the co-seat taking off. And years ago they got married, and on their honeymoon they raced. It's a pretty cool story. Beautiful down here in Cabo. The weather is just, you can't ask for better weather. Beautiful. A little bit of breeze for the guys that are out racing. They're leaving a minute and a half apart from each of these guys. Then once we go into the other classes, they'll be a little closer together. These guys put out a lot of dust. Here we go. Sandy Hall. Driving that Tatum car. Armando Molina is up next. These guys out of Mexico. Half the guys in the Class 1 class are out of Mexico. That was Sandy. I can tell you one thing from some of the people talking yesterday. There's nobody in Cabo. They're all here. Everybody's here. So if you wanted a taco at a taco stand, you're not getting one because they're all right here watching the race. That's what they were saying. Like Jimmy going, they're lined up for 70 miles from here all the way up towards Todos Santos watching. Incredible. They got there last night. Camping out is incredible what they're doing to watch this race. This is the biggest thing in Mexico. In Mexico, racing is their biggest sport right here. They love off-road racing. So Armando Molina. Next up is Carlos Olmos, the 107. We got some great sponsors at SCORE. We want to thank Bud Light coming on board for 2015. BF Goodrich has been there for many, many, many years for SCORE. We got Monster Energy, Rigid Industries, Polaris now on board for the last couple of years. Vision Wheel, King Shocks. These are the major sponsors of SCORE that make this all possible. Of course, all the people here, the tourism and everybody here in Cabo helping make this happen along with all our sponsors. And so many great people putting this together and making it happen. And we're going to arrive sometime this afternoon in Loreto. We're going to go meet these guys as they go to finish in Loreto some 11 hours from now. So we're talking about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. We'll probably see these guys in Loreto in the cars. The bikes left at 6:45 this morning. We heard there's a big battle going on right now between the 1X and the 5X of Ricky Brabik, and he's teamed up against Colton. Colton doing the whole race by himself. And we talked about this earlier, Colton and Mark Samuels, as the 107 flies off the line. Carlos Olmas leaves. First time in the history of SCORE, BF Goodrich has put tires on a motorcycle. They put the Michelin motorcycle tires they use in Dakar on the 5X and the 3X bike of Mark Samuels and Colton Udall. Jackson Motorsports, first time in the history of SCORE sponsoring two motorcycles in this race. Colton Udall and Mark Samuels with brand new tires that from Jackson Motorsports. They're Michelin tires they use in Dakar. So this is going to be exciting. Frank was pretty excited this morning watching Colton leave. So hopefully they can win that. So Jamie Huerta Jr., this is a brand new car. Up next, we have, looks like Victor Barada in this beautiful yellow car. Victor driving Barada. And then next will be the young lady out of California, Shelby Reed. Single seat car, pretty cool. Victor Barada. Up next, this young lady, I say is probably one of the fastest off-road women in the world right here. I say she is. Shelby Reed, I tell her that all the time. She is incredible, beats the guys, finishes in the top 10. Keep an eye on Shelby Reed. Her son won the Class 10 championships last year in SCORE. Cody was the champion for 2014 in Class 10. Once again, we want to thank our friends up there. They're up top working really hard on the cameras. We got all these cameras from El Pato Roja and Norman and his gang of guys, Cessna. Definitely, they know what to do. They're filming this thing for us, bringing you this live coverage down here in Cabo. The car's starting right underneath the Polaris RZR arch, brand new arch from Polaris. Shelby Reed's car off the line. And then we'll have James, or actually Scott, looks like Rosenberg, driving the number 125. As Shelby's car goes up the wash to the other side of us. Now, if you want to keep track of these guys, go to the tracking page. The tracking page, pick your car numbers, you'll be able to find out where these guys are at. So follow the tracking page all day. So the 125 going off is Scott Rosenberg. He takes off. So next car up, pretty cool. It's a wide open car. We've played the commercials many, many times on Dirt Live. And you can come down here to Cabo. You can go to Ensenada and take these things out and rent them. You can drive, and 3-day drives, 1-day drive, half-day drives down here in Cabo. Pretty cool. They're racing one of these in Class 1. So pretty cool. We're going to walk up and look. But open cars. And this is pretty cool. I know Bud's standing here watching because these guys race in Class 1. Bud's driven many, many of these. And the 120... driven by James. He's the driver of record, DeJaney. And pretty cool. Class 1 class for this wide open car. They're driving. Look at the sponsors. What they do is bring a lot of sponsors. And they bring Visa. So I see Jamie, DeJaney, Hector, Camacho. And they're doing it for Vision Wheel Company, which is one of the sponsors. So these guys are going to compete in Class 1. Here they go, off the line. And we have one more, which is the last Jimmy Jeffries car. Camarena driving the Jimmy Jeffries Class 1 car. These guys out of Cabo San Lucas. We're going to do, after Class 1, this last car, Jimmy Jeffries' car. Jimmy Jeffries living down here in Cabo since the 1960s. This is one of his cars going off the line, so pretty cool. A lot of history with Jimmy Jeffries. He's got two of them in the race. His son, his name is Dingo. You can see Dingo on there. That's his son's name. He might jump in this thing. He's thinking about it. Frankie Morales also driving to another class. These are the trophy truck spec class, which is kind of the more affordable trophy truck. You can get into these things. It's a spec class. First one up is Jose Gomez. Jose Gomez. These guys are going to leave a little quicker, like probably every 30 seconds. We'll see the time limit. Next up is Elias Hanna. Elias Hanna out of Ensenada. Having a beautiful truck out of Ensenada. And this guy, the 874. Had some problems in San Felipe, but watch him out here. Multi-time champion out in the 7 class, driving in this class now. Trophy truck, spec. Tico. Up next is Scott Servant. Servant driving the 880. And after that, we have Jordan Brenthal. Once again, I want to thank El Pato Rojo for all the great film coverage. They're sitting up top there giving it to you guys live at home. Here we go. Next up, Scotty in the 880. Scott Servant. Next up is Jonathan, or actually Jordan Brenthal, Jonathan's brother. They go up the wash. So right here is Jordan Brenthal, one of the Brenthal brothers. These guys definitely incredible couple of brothers, started their own business 10 years ago and turned it into something. These guys fabricate everything on these trucks themselves. So Jordan will be driving this trophy spec, and then his brother's driving the Class 1. All right, next up, Larry Connor. This guy is a bad dude. These guys have done some great finishes in the last couple years with this truck. Even our good buddy Jose G drove this once. These guys won last year. But Larry Connor, beautiful truck. They perfectly picked that back. So the 871 of Larry Connor, keep an eye on this guy. He's won a few times in this brand new truck. It looks like up after that will be Pistol Pete Soren. That beautiful, you'll see this yellow truck, the 862 of Pete Soren. Pistol Pete up next. And the last one in the spec truck would be Felix Gonzalez. All right, this white truck, Felix Gonzalez out of Mexico. All right, next up is the cops car. So it looks like we're moving into Class 10. John Langley in the 1050. Lee Lettner, John Langley, these guys driving. In car, John Langley. Up next, Steve Lawler in the 1002. Lawrence Equipment Cars. Next up would be the 1058 of Clay Lawrence, another one of the Lawrence cars. Next up, Cody Reed. We talked about his mom earlier. This is the 2014 champion, 1000, Cody Reed. If you just tuned in, we're trophy trucks are already gone. Class 1s are gone. Trophy truck spec are gone. Right now we're working on Class 10. We've only got a couple left, 3 left. And then we'll be into the 1600s, Class 5, 7s, Class 8. We got still a few more classes to go, all the way down to the UTVs. So right now, Cody Reed here leaving the line. So I've been thanking these guys all day. El Pato Rojo, Norman and his gang hanging out with us, supplying us with the cameras, the equipment, and able to bring you this live coverage here. And it's incredible from right down here on the soccer field right here in Cabo San Lucas. And working with those guys has been a great time the last couple days, setting us all up so that you guys could watch this live at home. Dirt Live back, showing you some racing here on the Score site. So like I say, George Antill here, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And like I said, we're going to make it happen for the start. We're going to see what we can do at the finish when we get to Loreto. But we'll be there sometime later on this afternoon. And we'll definitely bring you updates as we can. Cops car going off. The 011 of Morgan Langley. So the Langleys with 2 Class 10 cars competing against each other. John with his brand new Gemco. And then Morgan just going off in his car. Like up next, 1600s. I'm looking back here behind the last. We got this truck coming up, which is the 823. This guy out of Mexico, Lopez, in Class 8. We had 1 Class 8. Now we're starting with 1600s. First guy up in the 1600 car is Aaron Ampudia out of Ensenada, Mexico. Great family, the Ampudias. Got Rodrigo over here with the Monster Energy setup for Monster Hospitality Suite here across from us. We want to thank Rodrigo. He does all that for Monster along with Monster Athlete. So his brother right here in the 1600 car, very competitive. There will be the first off the line. Aaron Ampudia. 1600. A great class. I had a lot of fun about a month ago. I drove one in the Mint. The second up 1600 car is Juan Peralta, 1683. Like I said, the tracking page should be up. You guys can check these guys and track all your favorite drivers from the bikes, the quads, everybody. We heard, the only thing we've heard lately, Tony Guerra out of the race. We haven't heard anything else on the trucks or cars. You guys just gonna have to keep track of that on the Score site, and you can actually go to the Volacar site if you can't find it. So Peralta goes by. Go to the Volacar website, and you could probably catch the tracking for this race right there. Next up, these guys also, Hector Olmos out of Mexico, the 1699. All right, up next is J. David Reville Kaba. Then we got two more coming up. I think Cameron Steele driving the 1616 car of Greg DeStefano. And then the last car in 1600 is Edson Cruz. $15.09 off the line. Up next should be the 1616 of Greg DeStefano. I think we'll double check. I know Cameron was going to drive this car with Greg. Three guys in Class 7. Chamley will be the first off the line. Of course, we might have an accident down first, pretty tough corner, the first turn. $709 of Guillermo Rojas in the 709. Coming up next is Diego Vale. Like I say, they go down to this first turn. We got all the spectators here behind us. They run over here and watch one side, and then you get to watch over on the wash. What we'll do is we'll get some of this hooked up. Once a little later on, I'll be able to play some of this back. We'll replay some of this footage later on for you guys this afternoon, some of the start footage as the 702 goes by of Diego Vale. And then we'll do some updates. We'll try to update you right there on the score website. We'll get in there on, try to do some updates. Keep track of the score Facebook page and the Dirt Live page, and we'll be able to keep you guys up to date. Any information that you guys have, go ahead on there and post whatever you see. Like I said, we're going to be tied up here for the rest of the start, and then we're going to jump on a plane and fly up to Loretto. But once we get to Loretto, we have internet service at the La Mission. That's where the finish is, in Loretto, and we'll I'll try to go on there. We'll try to get our social media set up so where we can keep you guys up to date with what's going on. But the other way right now, between the time we shut down and you guys are going to have to keep track of the tracking as the first 3000 truck goes by. The 3000, let me look down my list here. That's Chad Broughton and the 3030. There's only one in that class. I think this might be class 5 coming up next. Might be Victor Cessna. We'll double check. I think he's the only one in class 5, so we'll double check. It's Victor Cessna. Should be number 528. All right, he gets the green flag. Victor out of Mexico. Now we're going to get into the 5/1600s. This should be Enrique Zaduta Jr. and Armando Garcia. These two guys racing in the 5/1600. Like we told you earlier, the best way to keep track when we shut down the stream is go to the tracking and track these guys all the way to Loretto. You'll be able to see them on the tracking. Once we get to Loretto, we'll try to bring you back to date with some of these social media on the Score Facebook. $1600 off the line. Enrique. One more 5/1600, and we're going to get into the UTV class. And I know Craig Scanlon, you're watching back east. Your class is coming up, buddy. The UTVs are coming up from Polaris. We want to thank Craig and Polaris for sponsoring Score International. They do a great job. And you can see right here, we got the brand new arch set up here where the cars are starting. A Polaris Razor arch. Scott Geiger now driving that Jagged X car in place of Matt Parks. Last 5/1600 of Garcia. Out of Mexico. First UTV, Alonzo Lopez. This guy's out of Rosarita Beach. He builds these bodies himself. These are his own body that he makes in Rosarita. Beautiful, beautiful fiberglass bodies for these Polarises. They own a ranch in Rosarita, and they build these bodies right there at the ranch. So first UTV off the line. This is Jose Gomez out of Rosarita Beach, Mexico. And he's driving a Polaris. Next up will be the winner of the Baja 1000, John Angel. Angel will be the next guy up. John Angel won the Baja 1000 in 2014. Here he is in Cabo. Finished in the top 3 in San Felipe. The owner of UTV Inc. This guy is an incredible driver. They took a 4-seat Razor and made it into a race car in the new one, the 2015 model. Some of the other guys like Jagged X took a 2-seat. Ben Wilson up in the 1927 Polaris. All right, Scott McFarland, this guy won San Felipe with us earlier this year. Keep an eye on this guy. This guy is really one fast dude in a UTV. The 1942. All right, next up would be Aaron Mantufas. And then our good buddy, Mark Burnett, in his brand new Polaris, coming up after this gentleman. Mark, try to get this thing to the finish. We go. Aaron Men takes off. net coming up next in the Monster Energy Polaris, brand new. Just went up and said hi to Mark. Mark driving. He was sick yesterday. He says he feels much better today. So he's getting ready to go. Keep an eye on the 1905. Former winner of San Felipe a couple years ago. Trying to get a little jump. He's itchy to go. 2, 1, here we go. All right, some more of the UTVs coming off. We got 1924 of Raul Gonzalez. Next up, this guy, multi-time champion in north of the border, Brandon Schuler, in the Jagged X car, teamed up with Scott Geiger this weekend. Scott Geiger jumping in here instead of Matt Parks. So definitely one of the tough guys to beat. Schuler at the wheel. Scott Geiger will be jumping in that thing later on to team up with Brandon. Matt Parks is not in the truck in this car anymore for a while. So keep an eye on the 1932. This guy, multi-time champion on the north side of the border up in Northern California. That's a Polaris factory car. All right, the Can-Am guys right here. The Murrays. The Murrays are getting ready to go. Good luck, guys. You guys are live, man. Go for it. Good luck, buddy. All right, man. The Can-Am issue right here. These guys are going for it. Can-Am wants to put this thing on top. The two brothers. Rider of record is Derek. Derek at the wheel. Keep an eye on this Can-Am car. And then up next would be Mike Caffro. Mike Caffro, a former ATV rider, now doing some UTV stuff. Mike Caffro over there getting ready. He'll be up next. Jumped in this Black Hills UTV Maxxis Pro Armor. Got a lot of great sponsors on board. Keep an eye on 1918, the last UTV to go. Got Marissa hanging with me. Only got a few left. I know her mom and dad are watching at home, right, Marissa?
Yeah. I just want to say, Mom, Dad, I love you. And my sister's in the hospital right now. She just got out of surgery. But they've supported me through ballet to off-road. So.
All right. Well, here we go with the RPM car. This will be the. We're down to the bottom. These are the sportsman guys, and the sportsman class. Let me find this guy. I know who's driving. It's an RPM, the 1515. And that would be Derek Fletcher, Sportsman Buggy. It is the last vehicle to go. Out of here. We're going to close with, we're going to get Roger Norman up here and talk to him right here at the Arch real quick. I know a lot of people have been texting at home, wanted to give a shout out to Roger, so we're going to get him up here in just one moment. So hang loose. We'll be right with you. We're going to walk Roger down here, and we're going to talk to Roger Norman, the CEO, the president of SCORE, and talk real quick about how things are going so far. We're going to stand right underneath our great, all our sponsors right here. So here we are. Roger, incredible, you know, the start to a big race. We're going to be heading up to Loretto from here. What do you think? I mean, look at the fans, beautiful day. You can't ask for a better day on the ocean. What do you think? I mean, you know, the fans have been texting in to us asking, hey, we want to see this thing next year.
Yeah. You know, there's a really good chance that we could be doing it again after this race. We're going to poll everybody, and, you know, if everybody says it's the most amazing race ever and that they've got to do it again, then of course, we're all going to do the effort to make it happen again. So, but it's going to be up to the racers whether or not we want to do it again. And I think it's just an amazing place and the most amazing racing. You know, the course down here is absolutely beautiful. You know, racing along the Pacific and the Sea of Cortez, and this beautiful start with the tip of Baja right here in the picture. The television is going to be absolutely amazing. So, you know, I think there's a really good chance that we're going to do it again.
You know, and a lot of the parties, the one they had at Baja Brewing the other night, the drivers were complimenting you and your crew on the course. It was some of them said one of the best courses they've ever been on.
Yeah, well, you know, we had a lot of help from a lot of guys down here to help you know, decide on exactly what the course would be, and you know, our congressman was out running some areas, and the congressman for down here, and a lot of people have been involved in helping, and other race promoters, and it's just been awesome. And I think it's going to be fantastic for the future of racing down here in Baja Sur. We're going to do everything we can to get publicity for the racers, and make it so that the local racers down here can get better sponsorships so that they can race throughout the season, because they don't really need that much money. It's not that much, but we have to show that we can, you know, through the magazines and the television and, you know, the social media and everything else that we do to spread the word about off-road racing, that these guys can actually get sponsorship. And since tourism is one of the largest businesses down here, it is beneficial worldwide for the companies to have all of the publicity that we put out on the race.
Well, you heard it from Roger Norman, and definitely we're going to close up right here in Cabo. And what a beautiful day. Like you see, the fans are running everywhere. They're trying to find their way back up the course a little farther. And you heard from Roger Norman. If everything works out as planned, he wants the race back here. I know Score wants to. We all want the race to come back here. We love Cabo. All you people out there, we love Cabo. Like he said, look, right, the course drove right down here towards the ocean. You can see, look, the beautiful Lovers Beach and all the beautiful ocean right here, the hotels. The tourism down here is beautiful. And, you know, we love it. Right now the guys are on their way racing up towards Loreto. Some of the beautiful spots, the course. And we're going to go offline, but keep tracking. Like I said, the tracking's working. You can go pick whatever vehicle you're tracking, trophy trucks, class 1, whatever it is, whatever class, the bikes, the 1X, the 5X, you keep track of those guys. Go on there and track on the tracking website. If you can't find it there, you could go to Volocor and find it there. But we are tracking the guys. I just talked to the guys. Everything's working fine. And once again, I want to thank the guys at El Pato Rojo for providing us with their beautiful trucks, cameras, equipment, and everything. So we were able to bring you this live coverage down here for the Cabo Baja 500 Sur race. I mean, this is incredible race down here, and we want to bring it back. So it's the racers, when they start talking about it, hopefully they'll say, hey, we want to bring it back. We want to get more racers down there. When they start telling everybody, they're going to go, hey, man, this is an awesome place to come hang out. So we're going to cut off right now. We'll see you guys a little later. Adios, amigos and amigas. And George Antill here. I'm going to leave. We're going to head our way up to Loreto and get the finish. I'm sure the bikes will beat us there. But what we're going to do is once we get there, we'll get on social media and we'll try to bring you up to date with what everything's going on. And somehow we'll try to hook up some kind of internet line and bring you some kind of live coverage up there in Loreto. Adios.